I was terrified because things that I was doing was putting people in federal prison. So I was terrified. So I got up and I got ready to run out of the office. And she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm getting out of here. I'm not trying to go to jail today." And she said, "Hey, there's nothing out there for you."
And actually, speaking of role models, I want to switch gears a bit and talk about Tiana Reyes for a little bit, because this is something that, man, I have to tell you, when I was listening to that, it really got to me. Because when you said that she was like an angel that came out of nowhere, and I just got goosebumps all over my arms, because such a great human being. So can you share how that first interaction happened when you met her, when you wanted to join the military? And obviously you had some issues with the law, and I want you to share this, because a lot of people watching this, for two reasons, right? Like, first of all, it's just very inspirational, but also a lot of people, including myself, sometimes we all make that mistake that we don't realize how just little action of goodness, just that little initiative to help someone, you look at that person and you may think that person is not really representing anything yet, but helping that person and do one thing can literally not just change that person's life, but create a tremendous ripple effect. And this is exactly what happened with Tiana, right? So can you share that story?
Yeah, so I made the decision that I was going to join the military because, I had nothing else going for myself at that time. And, I had just gotten out of a few bad situations. And when I went to the Navy office, there was Tiana, and beautiful Puerto Rican woman, and my naive young, I'm like, oh, she's gorgeous, I want to get with her, make her my girl. So here I am trying to knack on her, and she's like, this dude is a fool. And she put me in check. She said, "Listen, man, like, let's play any games here. What do you want to do?" And I said, "Join the Navy." And she said, "What do you want to do in the Navy?" And I said, "I want to be a SEAL." And she was like, "A SEAL?" Like, yeah. I had to do two things. The first thing I had to do was take a practice ASVAB test to make sure I had scores to get into the Navy. I took that test, passed it, and then she ran my background. And when she ran my background, she found out that I had 2 warrants out for my arrest. I had a warrant in New York and a warrant in New Jersey. And when she said that, I had been doing some bad things prior to that. So, I was terrified because the things that I was doing, one of the things I was doing specifically was putting people in federal prison. And so I was terrified. So I got up and I got ready to run out of the office. And she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm getting out of here. I'm not trying to go to jail today." And she said, "Hey, there's nothing out there for you." She was like, "A suit and tie." And I said, "No." She said, "Why?" She said, "Do you have a collar shirt and some nice pants?" I said, "Yeah, I can find some." She said, "Come back tomorrow." And I said, "For what?" She said, "Just come back tomorrow." A snappy New York, Puerto Rican accent. And I came back the next day, and she was in her dress uniform. And she took me to both judges, the judge in New York, the judge in Jersey, advocate on my behalf. "Hey, we need to expunge God's record. He made mistakes, but he has potential. And can you expunge his record?" And both judges unanimously expunged my record. And that's what allowed me to get into the Navy. And then she went a step further and fudged the paperwork to sneak me into the Navy. Mm-hmm. So, that's why I say, she's an angel. If I went to if the Marine Corps recruiter was there and he ran my background, he wouldn't have done and I say this because I get messages from kids all over the country who say, "I made a mistake when I was a kid. I got this little misdemeanor. No recruiter won't touch me." Or I was put in this database because of my record and I can't get there. I flew my cousin out here because he had a little misdemeanor from a mistake he made at the mall when he was a teenager. He went to every recruiter in Georgia. They wouldn't take him because it was in the system. I paid and flew him out here to try and get him into the military. No branch of service wouldn't take him. No recruiter would work with him. And so, that could have happened to me. That recruiter could have ran my background and said, "Hey, dude, you got warrants." Put my name in the system, and I would not have been able to join a service. But Tiana did that for me, and that, as you said, rippled. And I wouldn't be here today if she didn't do that. Like, where would we be? That one act changed the trajectory of my entire life.
Do you sometimes wonder like really wonder where would you be if that didn't happen?
I don't, because it's hard to imagine where I would be. So no, I don't sit and reflect. I'm just grateful for, if there is reflection, I'm just grateful for the act that she took. If it's anything I meditate on or think about, it's how can I do what she did for me for others? So there is wonder, but it's like if I meet a kid or I get in a situation, it's like, what if I don't step into that kid's life? Because I see, or what if I don't give this talk or don't do this podcast or don't do X, Y, and Z? Like, who is going to miss out?
Man, so I love it.
It's more wonder in that sense versus wondering what would happen to me. Is wondering what's going to happen to that person, because I see where this person is at and I see where they're going. And so what if I don't do something about it?
This is really powerful. I talk to a lot of people who want to build video courses and just go out there, have online presence, and they are afraid of doing it. And that's what I do myself. And I always tell them, don't think about yourself, but think about all the people that could have benefited from what you're about to do, and like those missed opportunities. And like sometimes as even we look at some of the people that inspired us. And if you just think like, what if that person didn't find enough courage to write that book or to create that movie, right? Like that's how humanity works, right? That's how we progress. We just gotta help one another and inspire one another. All right, so if you're still watching this video, the chances are you really enjoyed it. And if that's the case, well, first of all, thank you for your time, but also make sure that you subscribe and click on that little bell notification button. The simple reason is that if you don't click on it, you may not get notified when I publish new videos. Once again, thank you so much and have an amazing day.